Warner Brothers.
Okay, I'm warning you. I've calmed down. I have calmed down since I sent you those messages.
I
And
I'm fine. I
and
was never enraged.
no, I know. I'm just saying. I don't know if you're expecting some like nostalgia critic level passion.
God, I hope not.
Yeah, no, I'm not gonna do something like that. I've calmed down considerably. I found things I actually can say positively about Warner Brothers Entertainment.
That's fine.
I,
I'll
and
I'll do all the ranting when we get to Disney.
yeah, that being said, however, I can't fucking stand Warner Brothers Entertainment these days.
um, so this conversation started when we started talking about the new
Wonder
Wonder Woman.
Woman 1984.
I will say that I still really enjoy it in spite its flaws and despite Warner Brothers horse shittery. I still think it is a good movie, albeit not as good as the first one. I think it improved on a couple of elements that the first one was lacking, but at the same time didn't bring anything else new to the table.
Gal Gadot's acting range and her accent have certainly improved since
Yeah.
the original Wonder Woman. Um, I'm disappointed in Warner Brothers' treatment of 1984. I genuinely do feel they should have shown a bit more respect to the movies
Hmm.
that are the more or less both the figureheads and the stars of their live action department,
Hmm.
and they should have delayed this until they had a better product and a better time to open it with. This movie, Wonder Woman as a character, is meant to be a figure of hope and compassion. So, what better celebration than to release it after this time of depression with the pandemic and such? When all, like, once everything's opened up again, hope, wonder, good things, not what they did, which was,
Well, I'll I'll say I don't disagree with you, but I think I understand their thinking that it is this beacon of hope, and we kind of need a beacon of hope right now.
uh,
That is probably what they had thinking, but also because they didn't feel like putting more money into it.
I know. And that's the other thing. They misspent that money when you actually the amount of reshooting they did, and it's kind of painfully obvious where they did some reshoots. That it kind of just another big thing I can't wrap my head around with DC is why the fuck they keep insisting on having their independent superhero movies facing Justice League level threats and also insist on the Justice League being a thing. Like the Avengers and the Justice League, they're supposed to be things. Their very existence is supposed to be something that it's for threats that no one hero can handle. But for some reason, every time DC is putting the entire world on the on the plate of something bad happening. Like the entire ocean is gonna get taken over, and the whole world's gonna get got. The entire world is gonna get terraformed. The entire world is going to get blown up by Ares. The entire all this other kind of stuff. The entire world's gonna go into mutually assured destruction during '84. Save that stuff for Justice League. Sorry, something fell. Yeah, so I was.
In, I mean, you're right, but that's how it happens in the comics too.
I know it does.
It's
That's
just
why
saying.
I know it does. I'm saying this is a fundamental problem that they need to get their act together on. Like Marvel doesn't follow the comics as gospel, and they're doing just fine with their studios. Like the whole point. Yeah, I know. They're, but like the DC universe, like the cinematic universe and the Marvel cinematic universe, they're considered different universes than in the comics, so they can have some wiggle room to do different things. And I don't get why they aren't. I'm also slightly miffed that they used Maxwell Lord as the main antagonist because him turning evil was a shit idea that they did like almost 15 years ago, and they haven't gone back on. It was a mistake then. It's a mistake now. I wish they'd stop doing it, especially since this isn't even really Maxwell Lord. This is some other guy they made for the film with completely different powers and a different background. More, kind of, sort of.
It's close enough.
This movie frustrates me. I want to like it. I want to like it more than I do, but the stuff around it kind of frustrates me. I've softened myself. I like the Steve Trevor return. I've come to accept and actually see the merits of Diana actually making the wish, and like her now choosing to let Steve go in a more literal sense is a better. It's not a retread. It is more of a growing point. That being said, I'm still kind of confused. I can't remember if they ever explained this in the movie. That's not like actually Steve Trevor. That's a guy whose body he took over, right?
Yeah.
So
There's some bad implications in there.
So bad implication. The implication is Wonder Woman flat out raped a guy.
I mean, that's bad. It's a bad implication for sure.
Yeah, they should have thought that through a little bit more.
Well, of course they didn't think that through. They had her. They had a fucking Palestine reference.
Yeah,
They weren't thinking things through in that department.
They weren't. They certainly weren't thinking things through in the climax when everyone was taking back their wish. Yeah, I'm so certain soldiers in the middle of combat are actually going to go, yeah, no, I'll renounce my wish. I don't want this war to end right now.
I mean, probably not, but it's supposed to be like.
I know.
The truth will set you free.
Remember when Wonder Woman was supposed to have gone into hiding from World War I until Justice, like the Batman v Superman thing? Remember when they were saying
that was
that
a throwaway line.
Remember when that line was supposed to mean something?
No.
Have lines ever meant something in DC Comics?
I mean, in fucking. Oh, in DC Comics, absolutely fucking not. They will fucking retcon. They will retcon a line whenever they fucking feel like it.
Yeah.
What do you think? Maxwell Lord's a thing still.
Yeah.
And I actually don't hate Maxwell Lord being a villain. I never did. Although I did hate him for shooting Ted Kord in the face. That was messed up. That was just a bad call in general.
I'm pretty sure my sour feelings of Maxwell Lord literally is, once again, the execution of it. I wouldn't necessarily like there have objectively been worse heroes turning villains in Marvel and DC for that matter. I just feel like the execution of it was a stain not only on him but on Wonder Woman, because I can't even remember who was writing it at the time. The genius who was like, Wonder Woman goes up to Superman and Batman was like, oh yeah, I don't have a rogues gallery because I deal with my villains. In the implication being she snapped his neck and she kills her villains, so she doesn't have.
That was an Infinite Crisis.
The character, the member of the Big Three, the DC's Big Three, who's supposed to represent compassion. That's the one we make a Judge Dredd-esque execute on sight, judge, jury, executioner.
Welcome to the New 52.
Yeah, I know. So, yeah, I think that's kind of why I've got to stick up my ass about the whole thing. Also, I'm genuinely also upset that I couldn't help but feel like Chitara should have been the sole villain in a Wonder Woman movie, just because the contrast of those two characters is so fascinating. You have an Amazon who chose to live in man's world to save it, and a human who rejects her humanity, JoJo, and decides to become a beast because she hates humanity so much. It's like the conflict of ideologies should be so much more than just, but I wanted attention. I wanted people to notice me like they do you, Wonder Woman. Don't be yourself. It's like, some people actually do genuinely hate humanity. There is such a thing as a misanthrope.
Yeah.
Having Wonder Woman face a misanthrope, would have been so good as the main conflict. Not in a movie about Wonder Woman going through her own character and thing and sharing with another villain. And knowing DC, they're gonna pull another freaking Doomsday, and they're gonna use her once poorly, and then not bring her up again. You know they were not intending to use her again because they were supposed to have killed her, and then they had reshoots where she suddenly doesn't have her makeup on, and she somehow survived being electrocuted to death to also renounce her wish, even though her canonical I'm insisting it's canonical. Her last words were never renouncing her wish. I don't care what they say. I don't care how they reshot it. It's too overly obvious that was not the fate the character was supposed to have.
I mean, probably.
Yeah. So Wonder Woman. I wanted to love 84. I loved the intro. I loved how schmaltzy and how like ridiculously 80s the intro was,
Mm-hmm.
and like just the sort of small town crime, like just that was going on. It was kind of funny, and I enjoyed it a bit, but just yes, the rest of it was kind of not my taste.
I will say I still really enjoyed it. I don't know. I guess I didn't think about Cheetah like that.
Well, no, I
So
don't.
here's the thing that's actually bothering me. I I watched it when it came out. I really enjoyed it, and then I go online the next day and everyone's talking shit about it. But my problem is no one would explain their reasoning. See, like you just explained your reasoning. No one was explaining their reasoning for like a good week, and it was pissing me off. Just thinking about it. Everyone was like, "Oh, this movie's fucking terrible," and then they just don't go on.
And
Like,
I think
say something.
for some people they don't feel like they need to explain it. It's more like it's always more that whole I just feel bad, and like it's one of those things where either they don't have the energy or they don't care enough to explain why, which I don't agree with. I think you should at least be concise in your reasoning if you're going to like or hate something. So but yeah, no, I can totally understand your rage with people saying,
Yeah,
"Oh, this is stupid. Why?"
yeah. It was just
I'm
very
out. Bye.
annoying. Fucking.
Yeah.
It was just sitting on my timeline for so long. Fucking Angry Joe releasing 2 half-hour videos about he's so angry about this movie. And I'm just like, that's unnecessary though.
Yeah, it is. Okay,
It's not
there's
that
going
bad.
overboard. There's going overboard, and then there's going overboard. Underboard. You got to find a nice
Yeah,
happy
you
medium.
gotta find that medium. But I mean, it's Angry Joe. He goes overboard every time, and like
That's true.
sometimes I love him for it, sometimes I don't. Like that's just him. That's just how he do.
Yeah,
Um,
I'm getting
I
flashbacks
don't,
of Battlefield 5 when he went off on that.
uh,
Anyway, that's another thing entirely.
so I'll be concise, I suppose. I enjoyed the movie because it's just fun. Like it's just one of those things. Like it superhero movies have recently kind of lost this idea of fun. It's
Mm.
supposed to be about something. It's supposed to be doing something. It's supposed to be epic and and it's just like why? And then
Iron
this
Man.
year,
Iron Man certainly wasn't about
yeah,
something. The
Iron
original
Man
Iron
really
Man.
wasn't about anything. It's the origin story of Iron Man. It was simple and it's great. But then this year rolled around. Disney pushed all of its Marvel stuff back to at least this year.
Mm.
And Warner Brothers was left alone to release superhero movies, except for I don't know, maybe Bloodshot, which was fucking shit. Um, and they were just left alone. This playing field was just wide open, and they released a bunch of movies, and all of them are just fun. Like Bop is just fun. Like it's not trying to be something greater than it is, and and going back to your earlier point, it if what one of the reasons that I feel so right is that it's not a world-ending threat. It's just Black Mask
Yeah.
just trying to take over Gotham, and everyone's just like, no, don't do that. It's a small story, and it's wonderful, and it's just trying to enjoy itself, and it just lives in the moment. Um, Superman, Man of Tomorrow, just a really fun movie, just
Yeah,
out
that
there,
again,
just
that wasn't a world-ending threat. That was just Parasite gonna try and eat Metropolis.
Parasite being an asshole, and they don't. And like one of the things I did hear people complaining about is Wonder Woman not beating up Maxwell Lord, but just defeating him by speechifying. But like that's the ending of Man of Tomorrow too.
Yeah.
He just like connects to Parasite's humanity, and that's why I absolutely love that movie because it's just That's what Superman should be about. It is the fun stuff, it is the wacky stuff, but then at the end of the day, he's just trying to be a good person. And it feels right. And I feel like that was carried over into 84 as well, albeit not as well executed, which is why it lost points with me. I do think that it's flawed, but like at that point, it's like, well, yeah, everything's flawed. Like not every movie can be The Godfather. Like no shit.
Yeah.
But it comes to the question isn't is it flawed? The question is, do those flaws outweigh the positives? And I don't think it does. I think at the end it comes more. The positives shine through a bit more. Just the great things that we never thought we'd see on screen. I never thought that we'd get Cheetah on screen at all. Could it have been better? Yes, but Christian Wiig's performance really solid. That was a great performance. Really fun to watch and just really intense and wonderful. And the design, although we didn't get to see it for as much as I would have liked, it's still
too
good.
much.
I was scared it was going to look like Cats, but it wasn't. It looked good. It was shot in the right light. It was shot from the right angles. It was done correctly.
The right light. Nighttime.
No light. Night. Exactly. Like the invisible jet got in a movie. I never thought that would happen.
I never thought I'd see something.
I thought the invisible jet had as much chance of getting in an actual Wonder Woman live action theatrical movie as there would be an Aquaman movie. Both have happened now. Do you know how happy I am as a DC fan?
Very happy.
I'm just happy. Just let me have that, please.
You want to know what's kind of bad? A part of me kind of wishes we could get, again, a happy medium where like we have things being about something while also being, hopeful and fun. But then I'm pretty sure we'd end up getting something like Superman versus the Elite, which was exactly that.
That is that, and it's a fantastic.
It's simultaneously a fun movie where like just goofy things like the Men in Black attack with aliens and you do, but you also do get this kind of retextualizing of Superman's mission, so it's about something, and no one watched it, no one paid attention to it.
No one watched that movie.
So
it's the best Superman movie ever made. It just is.
It's certainly better than Superman Returns.
Oh, that's true. And I agree with you. I would love it if superhero movies were both fun and about something, but if I have to pick one,
you want it to be more fun.
I want fun. I want to enjoy myself. These and I partially blame the MCU for this, but
I can understand that.
Sorry, I partially blame the MCU, and the other half of me blames the Dark Knight. Like those are the two things I blame for this. Just everyone has gotten so somehow it became beyond it's a popcorn movie, but that's all it was supposed to be in the first place.
I kind of feel like what did that was, if you want to really focus on this, it's Thanos. I feel like once they got Thanos in the actual on the stage, and got the spotlight turned on him, that was the event horizon. From this point onward, they turned Thanos' fun, stupid inspiration of being he is romantically in love with the personification of death, and so wants to kill everything as a dedication to her, and he turned that to, no, overpopulation is going to destroy our communities and all of our planets. We need to invoke, and it's
can you do just for me, could you do on your own time make a video of some of his Thanos' speeches from the MCU with the Bernie Sanders voice?
I'll totally do that.
I want to hear that so much.
Sometime this week, maybe. But okay, but yeah, from that point onwards, it kind of became and ever since then, Superman Homecoming was about the downtrodden worker being forced to a life of crime after corporations took over their work, and then what other movie came out? I'm pretty sure you and I talked about.
Homecoming. Sorry, I was confused for a second there.
Yeah, Homecoming, the original one with where the Vulture isn't just this old guy who wants to fly like a bird. Now he's
No, you accidentally said Superman.
Oh, I did. Oh, okay.
That's why I was
Spider-Man.
confused for a second. I was like, what?
Spider-Man Homecoming.
It's Spider-Man
Yeah.
Homecoming.
Okay. No, you and I talked about this when we were going to see Captain Marvel for the first time. This movie
Yeah.
has to be like a girl power movie, and like
Has to.
and Black Panther had to be like it had to be about T'Challa taking responsibility for other people, other communities at the end. So yeah, I feel like
Done
I
well. I
I
like
can't
Black
say.
Panther.
Yeah, no, Black Panther certainly as well. I'm not saying they did these things poorly. I'm just saying it's around certainly a lot earlier. I'm
Yeah.
blanking at the time when these movies were released is the problem.
Yeah.
But certainly I think Thanos was the linchpin where from this point onwards Marvel superhero movies not saying something is going to perpetually be part of critics and fans taking points off of
Yeah.
the thing in general.
I
Even though that was never an issue with like the Incredible Hulk, uh, Iron Man, even Captain America that had Nazis as the main antagonists. No one was like criticizing Captain America for going whole hog. Nazism is bad, punching Hitler like kind of thing. They just kind of accepted.
Yeah. Um, that actually reminds me. That is kind of what happened to Age of Ultron. Like,
It did, yeah.
what is Age of Ultron about? Like, really nothing. It's a comic book. It's a comic book plot, and yet everyone doesn't. No one really likes it. Like, it's just sort of left on the side, and I kind
It
of feel
is.
bad for it. 'Cause it's
I
fun.
will say like one of the criticisms that doesn't involve like I guess you'd say uh, saying something is it is kind of padded. They did this really
That's
confusing.
true. That
They
it has problems as a movie,
Yeah, as a
but like
movie, but yeah, no, I don't
that was the
think that
funnest part.
like Ultron himself is like everything he's supposed to be. He's a reflection of the Avengers' desire to save the world, pushed back on them as an antagonistic force. So, and then it just gets really goofy and like fun about how he's going to go about it, this kind of stuff. And yeah, no one really cares about it because, I mean, like they just saw it as like the Avengers movie that isn't the original or Infinity stuff.
Yeah. I got no strings. Now I'm free.
I loved
That's a
Ultron's
great
voice.
moment.
I love Ultron's voice, and I love
Oh, it's
how
so
like
good.
and that's the weird thing. The movie, it's not like the movie doesn't have themes. Like
Yeah.
the Ultron does have a very interesting motif with the whole Pinocchio thing
Hmm.
and how he views humanity as inherently flawed and inherently trapped and stuff like that. But because they're not saying something about freedom versus security or whatever, people don't care.
Yeah, whatever. We strayed away from Warner Brothers. We were supposed to be talking about how shit Warner Brothers is.
Yeah, I'll
They are
say.
shit though.
I mean, one silver lining I have is the return of Animaniacs. At least
I mean, that was fantastic, right?
I binged the entire Animaniacs.
Well, I haven't watched all of it
And
yet. That was it.
it's as good as it's ever been.
Oh, good.
Um, they I say that they haven't brought back a lot of the supporting characters. It's literally
No.
just the Warner Brothers dot, Pinky and the Brain, and that's it. Like everyone else is more or less just
No
cameo.
chicken.
Yeah, no Chicken Boo. Chicken Boo was the antagonist in one episode, wherein every other character got a cameo. Like Slappy Squirrel, not there. The
Okay, I'm actually disappointed about no Slappy Squirrel.
the
Slappy
pigeons,
Squirrel slaps.
the pigeons, not there.
They were
Like
great.
Professor Scratch and Sniff doesn't even like he has like maybe one episode.
Well, aren't they getting a second season? So
Yeah, they are getting a second season. They at the very least are getting a second season.
maybe
Uh,
they'll be able to stuff a few more characters in there.
Hopefully they will
Okay.
because I kind of miss I'm kind of missing some of them.
I miss Slappy Squirrel. Slappy Squirrel was the shit.
Yeah. So yeah, that's the only like happy thing I can say.
Oh,
That's the only happy thing I can say really about Warner recently. But yeah, a lot of their other stuff has just been hits, misses, and misses. No hits, misses, misses, misses.
yeah. Well, I mean, give them credit. They're trying. I
They
guess.
are.
They're really going for those misses. It's swinging.
I mean, they. Is it weird? Is it weird that I don't even really consider Joker a Warner Brothers like thing? Is that weird?
No, because I'm pretty sure most of the fans don't either.
Yeah. So understand everyone. I'm saying this not counting the Joker, or rather Joker the movie. Joker the movie. Don't think it was. I'm pretty glad Parasite got the win there, but Joker, like, I'm glad the Joker made over $1 billion at the box office, quite literally.
I mean, you know,
Yeah,
I'm conflicted on that movie.
you're a bit more lukewarm and don't consider it a Joker movie all that
Oh,
much.
I don't consider it at all to be to be the Joker.
Mm.
It's not. It's just not. Like, if I don't think about it as connected to the Joker and Batman, yeah, it's a good movie.
Which is kind of
It's
hard because they shoehorned in that one scene
I
where
know, right?
Jason makes Bruce smile for
Mm,
trailer fodder.
they just shoved in the Waynes, and it's just so unnatural, and it's just
Yeah.
like, why?
Um, how do you feel about the potential of Robert Pattinson returning to his bat roots and becoming Batman after being a vampire?
I am. I will say I'm when it comes to at least DC movies coming out that are supposed to come out in 2021, I am very excited. I I do have high hopes for the Batman. I hope it doesn't let me down. Um, from what I have seen, which is basically just the trailer and like a couple of behind the scenes things that I have found, um, visually it's very good, and I think
Mhm.
they're moving away from Snyder's fucking gray scope on everything. Um, I I know it looks like it's going to be a more violent Batman, which I'm only okay with because it's early day Batman.
Yeah, that's okay. That's
If it wasn't early day Batman, I'd be like, let's can we not? But because it's early day Batman, he's still trying to figure out who he is and how he can appropriately apply his method of justice. It makes sense that he'd be a little more overly
you
violent.
you I a part of me hopes that that will be a theme in the story. That
I do.
whole because that's kind of the thing with Batman. He's supposed to be trying to figure out where does justice and mercy. Like
Yeah.
I feel like all the worst things involving Batman are the ones that hyper focus on his justice, the fact that he's
Yes.
supposed to be a symbol of justice, but forget that he's justice can be merciful sometimes, and the
Mhm,
Batman
mhm.
he understands that people are suffering and he wants to do good, like, you know.
I don't know because the movie's not done shooting yet. I don't think.
Mm.
So I don't know how long it's gonna be, but I know that it has like three villains, which makes me a little worried about its pacing. That it's not gonna be able to fit everything that it should be fitting in
Yeah, there are
on the
movies.
official runtime. I'm sure in the director's cut it'll make more sense,
Yeah.
but
I'm hope if that's the case again, I know even less than you do, honestly, because I haven't seen behind the scenes stuff. If that's the case, I'm crossing my fingers that the three villains are kind of in the same circles of Batman's thing,
yes.
sort of like not this specifically, but Joker, Harley, and the Creeper kind of stuff.
Hmm.
Like they're all in the same general area, and so they'll semi be working towards the same goal, or at least defeating them will require the same mindset for Batman. I don't want them having, oh yeah, here's the Penguin, and also here's Scarecrow, and also here's Clayface, guys
Yeah.
with completely different backstories that we all individually have to look over. Just
Yeah.
no.
I'm pretty sure one of them is the Riddler, if I remember correctly. Um, the third one I always forget about, and I know Catwoman is supposed to be in there, but maybe
Mm,
not like as a villain per se.
I'm just saying they have to understand that their their movies with like two bad guys are like getting kind of criticized for having bare
Yeah.
bones justifications or origins or timestamps for those bad guys.
Yes.
And I'm hoping they aren't responding with that, like, let's put one more in.
Let's just shove another one in and just
Like,
it'll work out in the end. It's fine.
yeah. Like they're heading towards Indiana Jones levels of villains in one movie, and even then, like a lot of those guys weren't even the main villain.
Um, yeah, I have high hopes for Battinson. Far more hopes than I had for Batflack. Um, I here's I guess the best time to announce it. I am 100% going to be working on videos this year about the entirety of the DCEU, leading up to the Snyder Cut of the Justice League coming out. When is that coming out? March, I think.
Sometime
All
spring, I'm pretty sure.
4 hours of it. Jesus Christ. Um,
Yeah,
I will say this. I will say this off the bat. I am not looking forward to the Snyder Cut, but I hope it is good.
yeah.
I don't.
I genuinely hope that it gives more background to uh, Cyborg, because
Yes, that'd be nice.
he's one of my favorite characters. I'm kind of upset that they took him away from the Teen Titans more and more, but he's
I
one of
mean,
my favorite
aren't we
characters.
all?
So I'm hoping they at least give him something more other than being like the fucking transport.
God, he is
Transport,
always.
and that's it.
Unfortunately, he is always the fucking transport in the comics because they don't know what to do with him.
They forgot what to do with him after he became like an AI and went to space.
Which is weird because once they changed him to being like fucking apocalyptic tech, like that should have been like the catalyst for a lot of great shit, and they just didn't do anything with
Yeah.
it. Yeah, I don't want to. I am not going to step on the fans of Zack Snyder who have been, admittedly, I'm not going to say patiently waiting for this movie, but they have been waiting for it. Um, you all, you all deserve a win, even if some of you are assholes. I won't lie. Some of these people, some of these fans have been quite rude to a lot of people.
Mm.
Um, but I do hope that it is what you want, and I hope I don't suffer. So,
Yeah, because regardless, that's still like 2 extra hours of dealing with Ben
yeah.
Affleck looking like he does not want to be here.
Look, I'm just gonna say it right now. I don't care for half of that cast. I don't
Yeah,
like Ben Affleck as Batman. I don't like Henry Cavill as Superman, and I don't like Ezra Miller as Flash. I just don't.
yeah. They should probably recast Urzamilla, I feel.
I think they're going to.
Yeah, which would be weird. We've already
Yeah, they're
made
gonna
fun of them
Flashpoint
for
anyway.
changing Batwoman, but I mean,
They're
yeah.
literally the plan for the Flash movie was Flashpoint. So like,
Okay. That makes more sense. That makes a lot more sense.
it's DC's answer to everything nowadays. Don't like how things are going. Flashpoint.
Yeah,
Things
I'm
didn't go
pretty
on
sure.
that well. Flashpoint. Just,
I'm
just
pretty
do it.
sure. I'm pretty sure DC's going to get to the whole idea of having a multiverse cinematic universe way before Marvel does. I know there are
I
people who
love it.
are like, their hearts stopped the second they saw images that Tobey Maguire and
Oh, yeah.
Garfield are going to be in the next Marvel Spider-Man movie, and they're just like, "What are we doing? It? Is it time? Is the multiverse? Are we going to get there with?
Spider-Verse time already?
Are we going to get three Spider-Men? The three Spider-Men in one movie?" It's like, guys, I don't know. I don't know, but a part of me still feels like DC is going to get there sooner. We're going to be dealing with
They're
Christian
gonna,
Bale Batman.
they're gonna get there sooner by accident. More
Yeah,
like.
they are. They are. They're gonna be so desperate to get one up, 1 foot above Marvel that they're just going to accidentally introduce like the Justice Society of America accidentally within
I mean,
3 movies.
I mean, the Black Adam movie is supposed to have the Justice Society in it.
Yeah,
If that
yeah,
ever,
yeah.
please, please, oh merciful God, give us this movie.
But
Um,
okay,
this
so I think we've taken the piss out of Warner Brothers.
Warner
As
Brothers has taken enough of beating. Admittedly, not that they care.
Yeah,
I
they don't really care.
don't give a shit what we have to say, but we're gonna
But
say it.
another company who doesn't care about what we have to say, Disney.
And
You.
we'll do that next time.
Oh, we're not done with this episode.
No, this is the end of the episode, but we're doing it in the next episode. This is a
Okay.
cliffhanger.
Next episode.